The final blow has been struck. The battle is surely won.
My powers, they're draining. Just like Mizora said they would. A small price to pay in the grand scheme of things.
Hard to believe we have actually prevailed. But it is true.
And the tadpoles have fallen silent, I take it? Good. A mind flare wouldn't make for much of a heroic statue. Ah. Well, perhaps I speak with too much haste.
Even when my time in the prism stretched out like eternity, when escape seemed impossible, I never lost hope. I knew that my destiny was to liberate my people, to return to them triumphant. I was wrong. It seems I can only fulfill one part of my destiny. My people will be liberated, but I cannot return to them. Not like this. You helped me destroy that abomination. Now help me destroy myself. You must kill me. But first, Lae'zel, I need your promise. Carry my hope. Carry my burden. Call my dragons, Kulos and Kuthos, and ride to the Astral Sea. Destroy Vlaakith. Release our people. Be our future and our legacy.
It will be done. I will never be free while my people are still bound by Vlaakith's chains.
Enough talk. Give me my freedom. Freedom from this form. Yes. But for how long? My mind screams. It will never stop until it has slipped away from me entirely. I will not be Gale. I did what I did to save my people. The rest is up to them. Someone else must rise within the ranks to lead the revolution against Vlaakith. Give me my freedom from this form. Release my soul to the astral seas, while I still have one to call my own. Githka Tavkim crashed.
Kulos! I can never forget you. Your name will be etched in our slates. You will be called Mlargir, Liberator. To the skies!
The Githyanki are leaving. It would have been hard to imagine parting ways from them peacefully once.
With the Githyanki gone, there's nothing left but the silence of the city, smoldering, waiting to be rebuilt. But it seems that Gale's mind is elsewhere.
Why do you furrow your brows so, wizard? Who says your abominable bat-cat has probably survived?
The crown. It's somewhere in the Gionthar. If I salvage the stones, I can reforge it. With the crown in my hands, I would be unstoppable. The casts I weave would be mine to command. I would be more than the greatest wizard who ever lived. I would be a god. It's I who should be saying such things. Do not think I leave you without a heart as heavy as your own. I owe it to myself to follow where destiny leads. I'll never forget you. That I promise. And if you ever felt differently, there'll be a place waiting for you in the heavens.
I shall miss him, though I hope he proves to be a kindly god. I've had my fill of the tyrannical sort, though I hope he has the mettle needed to face Mystra. She will not yield willingly, I fear. A new chapter awaits. Let us make haste.
Well and good, but enough of that. What now? My hamster is hungry. Heroically spoken! We must find an inn. Minsc has been banned from his share of alehalls, but I am sure you and Boo can speak for me.
You feel a gentle tingling on your skin, a faint prickle that starts to spread across any exposed flesh.
The sun is no longer your friend, then. A freedom you shall sorely miss, I feel.
Your skin now itches insufferably, as if covered in biting ants. You look but see nothing out of the ordinary. Until... this is it. With the Mind Flayer's parasite dead, your time in the sun is over.
Astarion, the sun is burning you! To shelter, quick!
You flee, stumbling through blinding light, your skin intolerably hot. It's hard to say how you find shelter, but you manage it. Now all that's left to do is wait for the familiar embrace of night. For all its terrors, you missed it. Baldur's Gate is not a bad place for a vampire to live, to flourish. And flourish you will. It's over. And it's all because of you. You, who were destined to become a thrall. Thanks to you, there will be no Illithid empire, no death god's tyranny. You have earned your place amongst the legends of the Sword Coast. You are the saviors of Baldur's Gate.
My shining star. Since I've known you, we've shed more blood than could ever fill the Cheon Tha. The wounds we sustained were the testament to our might. But last night, I swear to you, your touch healed every one of my bruises and wiped away every scar. I am a new man.
A moment passes. The corners of Wyll's mouth turn downwards before he smiles again.
And in more ways than one. When Mizora drained my warlock powers, it was as if a blizzard froze me through. Then you reignited my fires. When I'm at your side, I want for nothing. If only last night could have lasted forever. But if I'm to be a Grand Duke, I've got to greet the people and gain their trust. First, we mourn. We bow our heads for the fallen and honor them by pledging peace. Next, we heal the city. We restore our broken buildings stone by stone. We restore faith in each other, one good turn at a time. After that, well, it's up to us to decide. Any ideas? And a magnificent ball, I presume, for dancing the night away. You dressed to the nines, me in the finest uniform I can convince father to lend me. How could I ever refuse you? What a joy! This life we're about to make. This story we're about to write. Every chapter more thrilling than the last. I hope we never have to turn to the final page.
Only 6 months have passed since the defeat of the Absolute, but Baldur's Gate is already recovering. Wyll has personally handled the rebuilding of the city and the recovery of its people. The scars run deep, but Baldur's Gate will wear them proudly. The city was the battleground for a fight that decided the fate of Faerun, and you and Wyll were on the front line. Now, matters of state take up much of Wyll's time, and he turns down more invitations to parties and balls than you ever thought possible. But one day, he comes to you with a sparkle in his eye, holding an invitation that neither of you could ever refuse. A gathering of the friends and allies who stood with you in that great battle. An invitation to return to where your adventures began.
Thou wert called here, some from above, some below. For with thine bond, together thou hast kept the wheel of fate spinning when it threatened to halt. Though thou wert drawn far apart in the months after the collapse of the Absolute, tonight fate renews thy bond once more. Thou shouldst take care to preserve it. It is a great weapon wielded in the hand of good. Go. Know one another once more.
There's something strange in your old friend's mouth. What is it? A familiar invitation. He wants you to throw the object he's dropped. But it isn't a ball. It's the astral prism. Scratch barks merrily in something like agreement. He looks coyly at the ground, suddenly shy. He snaps the air and wiggles. He's either miming fighting a many-limbed creature or dancing. It's unclear. He is, however, exhausted. He's had plenty of adventures without you. The joy in the Owlbear's eyes is clear. He longs to have a home, and Halsin is perfect.
Astarion, my love, my heart. Breathe deep. Can you smell it?
You breathe in every scent the night breeze carries. Sweet honeysuckle, tender violets, and an earthly fragrance you immediately recognize. Oak wood.
Oh, how right you are. Not since our wedding have we enjoyed an evening so jubilant. A welcome reprieve from the faraway missions and the bargaining tables of the months past. You've been patient through it all. Your love is the fuel that drives me forward. I'm glad Father's left us to our own devices, more or less. No, he's got no shortage of advice when I ask for it. But we will make the decisions we see fit, the ones that will restore the city to glory. I now serve only you and Baldur's Gate, not a devil of the first hell. My father, Older Ravengard, is now Grand Duke of the Triad, Keeper of the Fist. Floric is now Grand Duke of the Crossing, the face of devotion. I am Wyll Ravengard, Grand Duke of the Worm, Heart of the Gate. And there's another I'd like to nominate. Grand Duke of the Coast, Doom of the Dead Three. Namely, I nominate you. Please say you'll accept. Then we've a reason to celebrate twice over. Hail, Grand Duke of the Coast, Doom of the Dead Three. The city's future looks brilliant indeed. Go on, my love. The night's young. You shouldn't waste a moment of it. Or waste a single drop of wine, for that matter. I plan on downing half a bottle myself. Oops, did I say half a bottle? I meant half a dozen.
Well now, you can make yourself presentable when you have a mind to. Oh, forgive me. I am simply excitable. It is good to be out under an open sky once more. For all your travels, I hope you have arrived where you want to be. Home. Whatever that means to you. Ah, sentiment. With the greatest affection, I can think of better ways to sour our stomachs. I must inspect the refreshments. You'll never know. Some ne'er-do-well might have tampered with the wine.
Boo! We are not dreaming! It is our old friend! Oh, and it is good to be seen. Oh, after so many days down in the dark, Minsc began to wonder if he was some blind bug who had only dreamed himself to be large and bulksome. You will forgive the aroma, I hope. We were not expecting the Dusty One to open a portal to our very cell. Boo had a moment to lick himself clean, but there is a little too much of Minsc to cover. Minsc and Boo have been helping, of course. We guard the streets, while Jaheira is occupied with harperish matters. The Zentarum rule the city's underbelly, so Minsc and Boo went to give them a tickle. There were harsh words, battle cries, some manner of head wound. We awoke in a Zentish cell, awaiting trial by noble combat. Execution, says Boo, though I am not sure of the difference. It is a long walk to the gallows, and Minsc still has his fists, no? In ample time indeed. So long as the Bone Mage returns us to our cell by dawn, Boo would not be late to the bloodshed. But leave such matters for the morn. Tonight is for celebration and the telling of tales. How have you filled your days since we tore this sticky tyrant from the sky? No, my friend. It is not yet time for tears and passing Boo around for the wiping of eyes. There is much merriment to be made before the night is done. Go and greet the others. Minsc shall make himself presentable. This pond shall do nicely, Boo, though I see no soap. So you shall have to blow the bubbles for me.
For 2 months I trained the Knights of the Comet. For 2 more I skewered Kithraki bellies. And for 2 more yet, I traveled through Limbo. I never imagined we'd be standing toe-to-toe on this day, in this place. Nothing but allies, I always told myself. A necessary partnership. But in spite of every strained word, every barbed glance, seeing you brings me even more pleasure than taking a Royal Inquisitor's head. It's nice to hear it. It's taken a dozen Gish's talents, a few stolen psi crystals, and 2 10 days of effort to conjure my projection. Worth it, I'd say. I miss this place. This Fey Run. We've spilled blood, gained a foothold in the astral, but still we need allies. And one beyond reckoning has made itself known. Zerith Minyaragith. Not a what, but a who. The immortal god king of the Githzerai, an exiled people, once kin with mine, until the madness of civil war ripped our one sky into 2. Our Gish sent word of the rebellion to Minyaragith through the cosmos. He's agreed to parley. It's fallen to me to secure an alliance. Exactly the reaction I expected. My blade is keen as ever. But it was you who showed me that a proper victory doesn't always require a razor-sharp edge. Sometimes, a sincere plea is more persuasive than a dagger against the neck. And sometimes, a bewitching smirk and quip gets the job done, Astarion style. I miss this place. More to the point, I miss you. I wouldn't even deny it with Vlaakith's vorpal blade at my neck. Though, I'd rather it not come to that. Now go, mingle a bit. That's the word, right? Mingle. I'll be back one day. The Overgod himself couldn't keep me away. So it has. And a fine man the hatchling will be. I call him Zaan. Freedom. He is with the mages of Zamvardim. I trust his care to no one else. Zaan's destiny will be his own to follow. Warrior, poet, explorer, scholar. His way will be the way of the comet. No chains to bind us, no lies to bury us. Liberty will be the rallying cry that unites our empire.
You would think someone of my vintage would be inured to the passage of time. Yet these past 6 months have seemed endless without your company. But now, our paths cross once more. We have all pined for each other's company, I sense. I cannot imagine otherwise after what we shared. That bond was forged in a crucible that can never be stoked again, Oak Father willing. It is a bond that can weather any distance, any passage of time. I know it can, for I feel the longing for old friends in my heart each day. I always do. Should I ever decline, assume a doppelganger has taken my place. That was more than worth the wait. Rest assured, my arms shall be ready. Now, it would be cruel of me to hoard you all to myself for the evening, as much as I would like to. I shall leave you to the others for now, unless there was anything else. Do you truly even need to ask? Of course. Who could not open their home to a befeathered hero of Baldur's Gate? And I did promise the children I would bring them back a surprise. Imagine their faces. Your embrace makes me feel safer than any armor could. Before you go, I have something for you. Just a little keepsake, really. Do you remember how I told you I like to whittle? I made this. Ducks are my favorite, but I thought they were particularly fitting in this case. They are migratory birds, of course, traveling far and wide with the turn of the seasons. Yet, they always find their way back to where they belong. Just like old friends find themselves back in each other's company. Just a token to remember me by. Now, I've taken up enough of your time. Go on. Enjoy the festivities. We can speak again later.
Starting to wonder if you'd show up. Honestly, so have I. Oh, come here, will you? It's been forever. You feel a little more substantial than before. Less camping and scrounging off the land, I take it. Filled out and healthy is what I was going for. Don't tell me you miss living off whatever scraps we found in crates and barrels. I'm glad you seem well. Trudy. Wandering, mostly. The adventuring life is almost a tonic when you're not constantly threatened by brain monsters and cultists. I can finally see the world beyond the cloister. One of my first stops was the House of the Moon in Waterdeep. It's the largest temple of Selûne in existence. It seemed like the perfect spot to reflect on my parents, on where they came from. And where I came from too, I suppose. Hard to imagine, isn't it? Me, of all people, in the lair of the Moon Witch herself. Gods, your truest act of heroism was putting up with all that char and drivel I was spouting for so long. Oh, I know they are. I can still sense them, I think. And one day we'll be reunited. I don't know. Which is just the way I like it just now. Perhaps I'll just stick a pin in a map and see what I find, or head to the docks in the morning and scrounge a berth to find somewhere new. I'd like to see the islands, maybe, or head south to Arm. I heard there's an enclave of werecats that hunt the followers of dark gods by moonlight. I'd love to see if there's any truth to that.
Goodness. Was Faerun always so dull? Still, at least the company was worth the trip, if not the view. I'm forgetting my audience. Etiquette amongst the gods works rather differently. They're a lot more direct, shall we say. I imagine you're wondering how all this came to be. The finer points of divine ascension are beyond mortal comprehension, I'm afraid, but I can provide a rudimentary sequence of events. First, I retrieved the crown of Karsus and reforged it using a series of precise and highly complex Netherese incantations. Then, I used it. As you know, the orb within me was the half-formed Karsite Weaver, magic left incomplete by Karsus' self-destruction. I finished it. Using the crown of Karsus, I turned it into a new form of magic, fused with my being, driven by my purpose. And then I put it to work. As expected, Mystra was unwilling to hand over the reins of the weave, so I've claimed dominion over another area which I've passing familiarity. Ambition. I offer them nothing. I inspire them to seize their destinies for themselves. Great as the heights I've reached thus far may be, I've not forgotten my humble origins. In fact, they're central to my doctrine. Those drawn to the Galarian Creator merely seek my guidance as the impressive, all-powerful being I've become. Ambition is about beginnings. It's not just about the heights, but the lows that preceded them. I was nothing. A drifting dust mote of a wizard, abandoned by my goddess, my powers lost, my reputation destroyed. And look at me now. I'm their proof. Proof their hopes are not barren wastes, but the loamy soil in which their future achievements will flourish. Proof that with ambition, anything is possible. Such a feat would certainly be within my capabilities, but alas, my hands are tied. Bodily interference with mortals lies well beyond the purview of my particular niche of divinity. Ask for my blessing in pursuing this ambition, though, and I'll gladly offer what encouragement I can. I've found many delights in the heavens so far, but I have to say, nothing as rare as your friendship. It's a fine thing indeed.
Well, there he is. Gale in all his glory. I hope you're happy, the god of ambition. Have you ever heard anything more ridiculous? Ambition. aspiration. Greed and hubris is all I hear. The Gale I knew wasn't like this. He recognized his mistakes. He was contrite. All he wanted to do was live. Unfortunately, he fell into company that turned his gaze toward foolishness. Yes, I mean you. Then you're just as mad as he. I know there's nothing you could have done to stop him. Not really. Once he'd decided to learn nothing from his mistakes, what use were either of our protests? Perhaps you'd be willing to come meet Gale's mother sometime? She misses him so. And I know it would do her heart a world of good to discuss her son with someone who knew him as he was. Jolly good. I'll tell Mrs. Dekarios to be expecting you. Oh, she'll be delighted. Things just haven't been the same without himself cluttering up the place. Enjoy your party, dear. I've heard you quite deserve a celebration.
This one night is like any other, and yet different. Thou art the savior of Baldur's Gate, until such time it requires saving again. How dost thou feel? I am pleased to hear it. The satisfaction of one's intention is, to my surprise, a rare accomplishment. Enjoy the revelry of the day. Thou deservest at least that much. What indeed? Prick up thy ears and listen. The balance of the world restored. The balance of these lives, mortal and otherwise, brought to account. Hear me, thou heroes, wastrels, friends. I have waited long to tell you these words. It is over. For now. Thou played thy part in weaving the fabric of fate itself, but for every thread you sewed, so did the gods unravel another. Sleep, rest, revel, but be ready, for thou mayst yet be needed. Until we meet again, I wish thee every possible fortune, health, wealth, love, and above all, problems worth solving. To you.